Well, after months of speculation, Minnesota's governor has made it official.
But we're not done yet, and that's why I'm running for re-election.
Governor Tim Walz launched his bid for a third term today. Caroline Cummings is live at the state capitol with more about the campaign and the race to replace him. Caroline?
Well, hi there, Frank. So the 2026 governor's race really kicked off today when Governor Tim Walz ended the speculation about if he would throw his hat in the ring once again or he would bow out. In his announcement video, he highlighted policy achievements, working with the legislature, and also told voters what's still on his to-do list. Just over a year ago, Governor Tim Walz was catapulted to the national stage as the Democratic vice presidential nominee.
We've raised graduation rates to the highest ever.
Now he's back in Minnesota asking voters here to choose him to lead them for another 4 years.
It may be unprecedented to run for a third term, but I think he's an unprecedented candidate.
Democratic strategist Abu Amara says Walz is in a different position now than he was 4 years ago with that national profile, which could position him well heading into this race for what could be a historic third consecutive term if he wins.
Now he is a nationally known figure, which means he has a national fundraising base, the ability to bring in millions and millions of dollars, and to really contrast with the Republicans in a way maybe he didn't or wasn't able to do in 2018. So I think that's a massive strength.
In an announcement video, Walz touted a paid family leave law set to go into effect in January and a tax credit designed to slash child poverty, two policies approved when Democrats had total control at the Capitol in 2023. Now he says he's looking at lowering health care costs and gun violence prevention in wake of two high-profile tragedies in our state this summer. But he faces some political headwinds and liabilities, like fraud found in state programs to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. Republicans have fiercely criticized his administration in wake of those investigations.
I think people are just, really wanting to run against that. And of course, it squarely sits, after 8 years, will squarely sit on his shoulders.
Amy Koch, GOP strategist and former Senate Majority Leader, says Republicans are energized because of it. A June Minnesota Star Tribune poll of registered voters shows half of Minnesotans disapprove of his performance on the job.
And at the end of the day, people are not going to compare him to the almighty. They're going to compare him to the alternative. And Republicans have not put up somebody who's been able to win in nearly 2 decades.
Now, Walz defeated GOP challenger Dr. Scott Jensen by 8 points in 2022. Jensen is among the 5 candidates who are hoping to face Walz in a general election this time around. And now Walz is in the hunt for a new running mate. That's because Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan is running for U.S. Senate. Frank.
All right. Thanks for the update, Caroline.